We've reached the Relationship and Tax Filing section of the application. In this section, we'll input vital details such as the applicant's current living situation, their relationships to other household members, and their tax filing details. This information is key in helping to determine what benefits the applicant is eligible for. Please note, depending on the programs the applicant is applying for, some of these fields may not populate in their application. This is due to that information not being required for that particular application. Let's begin with Jim Smith's living arrangements. Here, it's going to ask what Jim's current home situation is. You have a variety of options, but for my scenario, I'll select that he owns his own home. For what type of in-home assistance does Jim receive? Click on the drop-down and select Not Applicable. The last question asks if everyone in Jim Smith's home has the same living situation. In this example, I will select Yes. This will pre-populate additional household members with the same information. Now click Next. This section covers various relationship questions for Jim and Lisa Smith. The first question asks what Jim's relationship to Lisa Smith is. Begin this question selecting the field, scrolling through the options, and selecting the most appropriate selection. For this example, they are unrelated. This will prompt a question asking you to clarify the unrelated relationship. I will select Domestic Partner. For legal relationship, select none of the above. And for are they parent/caretaker relative? I'll select No. Go ahead and click Next. Next, it's going to ask how does Jim intend to file his taxes this year. Read through the options and select the appropriate category of tax filing. In this case, Jim Smith will be filing as single. The next question asks if the applicant is claiming any of the household members as dependents. In this example, Jim Smith will select No. Finally, the last tax question on this page will ask if the applicant has reconciled any premium tax credits on their tax returns for the last 2 consecutive tax years. Listed below are conditions for selecting Yes. Read these conditions and select Yes or No. In this example, Jim Smith will select Yes. Then click Next. A warning asking you to verify the applicant's tax filing status, specifically regarding as being a dependent, will display. Click the Return to Tax Filings Detail page button, verify or alter any necessary information, and select Next once more. We are now on the relationship page for Lisa Smith. Based on Jim's responses, some of her responses will be pre-populated. Navigate through the section, answering any unanswered questions. For this example, since Jim Smith labeled everyone's living situation being the same as his, we can scroll down and answer the question at the bottom of the page. Is Lisa Smith Jim Smith's parent/caretaker relative? Select No. And click Next. A similar page for reporting tax details will generate for any other household members. How does Lisa Smith intend to file taxes this year? Select Single. Is Lisa claiming any household members as dependents? Select No. Did Lisa Smith reconcile premium tax credits on her tax return for the last 2 consecutive tax years? Select Yes. Click Next. Next, we'll be filling out sections in the Household Information section. This in-depth section asks about household circumstances, income, expenses, and other various details that can be attributed to individual applicants. Let's start with the health questions in the Household Information section. Is anyone in the household blind? Select No. Does anyone in this household have a disability? Select No. Does anyone in this household want to participate in the Career Development and Job Placement Program with the Kentucky Career Center? Select No. Is anyone in this household pregnant or was pregnant in the last 3 months? Leave this section unchecked. And has anyone in this household used tobacco at least 4 times a week in the past 6 months? Select No. And click Next. Is anyone in this household eligible for entitled benefits, such as annuities, pensions, retirement, black lung, unemployment compensation, or VA pension? Select Yes. Select Lisa Smith as being eligible for these entitled benefits. Would anyone in your household like to take a needs assessment to connect you with local community support/services/programs, such as housing, utility, or transportation assistance? Select No and then click Next. An income questions prompt will appear. Please review the information and click Next. We are now on the Income Subsidies selection page. Complete the questions about the income and subsidies. In this example, we are selecting No for each question, so we'll skip ahead to the end of this page. Now, click Next. An Expenses Questions prompt will appear. Please review the information and click Next. We are now on the Expenses page. Complete the questions about expenses. Starting with the first question, does anyone in this household need help paying unpaid or partially paid medical bills received in the last 3 months? Select No. Does anyone in this household have deductible expenses? Select No and click Next. It was notated that Lisa Smith is eligible for entitled benefits in her portion of the application. This generates a page asking for further details regarding those benefits. Review the questions and answer them accordingly. Select which entitled benefits Lisa Smith has applied for or plans to apply for. In this example, we will select Black Lung and list her status as pending application. Then click Next. This brings us to a conclusion for this video. Please continue the course to refresh yourself on the final sections of the application.